All right, so I just want to show you there's a mini expansion you can get called the Fisherman's Feud. You're going to play the game as normal, but with the following exceptions. During the setup, after deciding who will take the game's first turn, players take turns choosing feud cards, which are going to be these cards in the back, and you'll have 6 of these cards to choose from. Players continue choosing these cards until they have 3 cards in their hand, placing these cards with the star side up first. So there's going to have star side up here. So you're going to go through and you're going to draft these cards, and each player is going to end up with 3 cards here. Players may decide to give 3 randomly to each other instead of drafting these, so you decide that before the game starts. During each day, you may use exactly 1 of the feud cards. Each feud card power described on the card. After use, the card is flipped and its non-star side is rotated 90 degrees. If the card was on the non-star side, rotate 180 degrees after use. By rotating the card, it's easier to remember that you've used the card in the given day. At the end of the day, give your opponent the card if it's turned at 90 degrees. Discard the card if it's turned at 180 degrees. All right, so basically this way it's going to work. We're going to take a look at a couple of these cards here. It says, play this card if it were a lobster. So if I do this one, then I'm going to flip it on this side and I'll turn it 90 degrees. Now, this card here is going to be move any 2 ships 1 space. Now, it's important to note that this specific rule says during each day, you may use exactly 1 of your feud cards. Each card's power is described on the card. So what that means is I can only use these cards once per day, but it depends on what side it's on. So on this side, if I use this, I'm going to flip it over and turn it 90 degrees. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be handing this card to the other player. Now, if it was already on this side, it's going to be flipped 180 degrees, and then it's going to be removed from the game. So when I hand this card to the other player, it's going to be on this side. This star side, only the player that actually has the cards can use. Now, if you didn't play any of these during a day, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to pick one of these and you're going to flip it over from its star side. And then that side will be available. So if I do that then and I use this side, then I would turn it 180 degrees and then this would go from the game. It wouldn't actually make it to the other opponent. And that's basically how this feud expansion works for the game. This is a pretty good expansion if you have played Fisheries of Gloucester before and you want to have some unique player abilities in the game. This is going to be a great little expansion to add to the game. It adds a little bit more decisions that you're going to have to make during the game and a little bit more complexity. And if you haven't played the game before, this might actually not be great to play because you won't be able to take advantage of these powers as much as a person who's played it before. So I highly recommend before you use this little mini expansion here that you have played the game before. And in a really quick nutshell, that's going to be the Fisherman's Feud promo pack and what comes with it. So just real quick, this one here is going to basically give you an extra lobster you can do. You can split any 2 adjacent ships in the same row. This one here, you can take a fish adjacent to any ship, which is pretty cool. Move an opponent's ship 2 spaces back. You can add 2 hours, which is really cool. Take a fish from your opponent, your choice. So you can do a little stealing here. These are the opposite sides of the card. Swap a fish with your opponent, your choice. Add 1 hour. Move an opponent's ship back 1 space. Switch any 2 fish on the game board. Switch any 2 adjacent ships in the same column. And move any 2 ships 1 space. So you have to keep in account what you get to do on the powerful side, but you also have to keep in account what you're giving to your opponent. So there's a lot of different decisions with this, and this is what the little promo pack adds. So thank you for watching.